High on a hilltop in Fizi territory, the village of Namisha seems to scrape the clouds. The village chief uses this strategic position to keep an eye on the progress of the fighting.
Over there in the mountains, there's war, there's fighting. We hear the bombs day and night. The bombs are falling on Rugezi and Point Zero.
Rugezi and Point Zero. These are the areas where the fighting is most intense. For several weeks, clashes have been taking place between the M23 rebels, who are supported by Rwanda, and the Congolese army, which is backed by local armed groups. Controlling this area means controlling the main roads through Fizi, which are critical to supplying frontline troops. To follow the latest news, worried villagers listen to the radio. The radio set is always switched on.
If the fighting gets closer, we'll all be forced to flee because it is difficult to stay in the village. Bombs could hit us. We'll go into the bush for a few days. And if there is a lull, we may return.
There's a growing feeling of concern in the village, where newly displaced people keep arriving. According to the village chief, nearly 2,000 people have taken refuge in Namisha. Among them, this family, living in a hastily built mud dwelling.
We were sleeping at night when armed men came to our house. There was a lot of gunfire. We fled. I have 7 children, but while we were fleeing, I lost 2 of them. They disappeared.
According to humanitarian groups, since January, more than 300,000 civilians have fled the violence in Fizi. On the road, we meet a young man, exhausted after walking for days to get to safety.
I've been walking for 5 days. I left everything behind. I'm tired. I don't have any money for transport. I abandoned my fields. I don't even know where my family members are.
Petro is accompanied by heavily armed men. In eastern Congo, the authorities have encouraged civilians to take up arms against the M23 rebels. As a result, new recruits are swelling the ranks of local armed groups. Members of this armed group, called the FABB, agreed to be filmed. The fighters line up, their AK-47s resting on their shoulders. Some wear military uniforms. Most look unkempt. But appearances can be deceiving. The armed group, which fights alongside the Congolese army, is one of the most powerful in the province. Commander James has nearly 500 men under his command.
I have deployed brigade commanders and non-commissioned officers to several strategic points around Fizi to monitor enemy movements.
The FABB was formed nearly 30 years ago to support a rebellion led by Laurent-Désiré Kabila at the time. He ended up seizing power after toppling Congo's former dictator Mobutu Sese Seko. The FABB never agreed to disarm, and it later turned against the Congolese army. But as the M23 rebellion gathered steam, the militia switched sides again. Now, together with other armed groups, the FABB fights alongside the army against the rebels.
I was 15 when I started fighting, when the Banyamulenge came here to take our land. We refused, and that's how the war started. Now there's the M23 in Rwanda. We have the government's support to fight. As long as they don't withdraw, we will fight to the last breath to get them out of Congo.
The pro-government armed groups are welcomed in some quarters, but in others, their violent reputation is feared. Human Rights Watch reports that the groups commit killings, beatings, and extortion. Ethnic prejudice drives some of these abuses. Evidence of the violence can be seen in this village, which has been looted and burned to the ground. It's less than 10 kilometers from Fizi's main town. Congolese soldiers are present, but they struggle to control the armed groups. We're not allowed to film Congolese soldiers in this strategic area. The local authorities reject allegations of abuses.
In the Fizi region, Banyamulenge people and the Bafulire work together without any problems. There are no problems between communities. The Banyamulenge aren't being marginalized. That's completely false. These are stories invented by politicians here or from the diaspora desperate for attention who want to fan the flames.
The official line paints a rosy picture. But everyone's aware that the situation in Fizi is volatile. Conflict has plagued the area for 30 years. Locals' hopes are pinned on the latest peace negotiations between the rebels, the Congolese authorities, and Rwanda. In December last year, Congo and Rwanda signed a peace agreement in Washington. It's supposed to lead to Rwandan troops withdrawing from eastern Congo and for the Congolese army to stop collaborating with armed groups. But on the ground, little of this has materialized. The prospects of peace coming to Fizi appear slim.